Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. We don't have a lot of or any guests. We don't have any guests tonight, but
we don't have a lot of anything. A lot.
Yeah, we decided, but I would like to make a point out there. I appreciate everybody being out there. Lynn's handcrafted designs, Bill's out there, Aussie Man.
Aussie Man.
Yeah, I think we've been busy running our mouth, so we haven't really paid attention. That guy Paul's Messy Workshop. I wished he'd clean his damn wood shop.
No, then it'll make me look bad.
Yeah. But anyway, all y'all out there, thank you very much for being out there. But if you have a question about woodworking, about 3D printing, about embroidery, we got Donna here can do embroidery. I think you do also. Do you do sublimation, Donna? Oh, okay. Well, sublimation, I've got it. Do what?
I don't do sublimation. I do 3D printing. I do scroll saw work. I do lots of other stuff. And I did get a silhouette one time because I'm like, I want to do this 3D, silhouette stuff. So I got one of them and did a couple of things and went, nope, don't care for it. And then I gave it to my daughter-in-law.
Yeah, I was playing with my Cricut today. It's backwards on the camera. I can never. And I ended up putting my name on my shirt, playing around with the Cricut. That's vinyl, by the way.
Did you take the shirt off to do that?
Yeah, I had to take my shirt off. I was running around the house naked because my kids weren't here.
Oh my God! Oh,
that's why he was playing with his, that's how he was playing with his Cricut.
Yeah, I was playing with my Cricut. So anyway, Dixon, where's your Cricut sound? We need them right now.
Where's Woody Wood Cricket when you need them?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm delving into a lot of different things. Before we came onto the show, I'll tell you what. Let's stop right there. Let's go ahead and let everybody introduce ourselves before I forget that, and we'll go from there. Hi, I'm Russ. Paul.
Paul Corliss, Paul's Messy Workshop, and it's messy. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram. You can find me here. You can find me tomorrow on Al's show on Twitch at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. It's the best show going on a Sunday afternoon unless there's football on.
What are we doing, Paul? What are we doing?
We're working with a laser this week.
Cool.
Right?
If you will text me,
you will,
Mr.
I will.
Al Forte.
I will.
I forget. We get home from church and we eat lunch, and somehow I forget. So if you will send me a text, I'll
put a little note on your chair when you leave.
That's what I got to do is put a sticky note on my computer and say, "Watch Al Sunday afternoon." I've got one. You're gonna laugh at this. You're gonna laugh at this because I wasted 2 cups not doing this. All right, I am reaching up here. I have a platform made out of wood that holds my monitor up above.
Is that your puppy, Al?
No.
Oh.
No, not me.
It's mine.
Chris's dog wants to be on the show.
I want my wife to come back.
I put this on this computer so that I wouldn't forget to do this when I do sublimation.
What does it say?
Mirror image before printing.
You went and made the most basic mistake right away, didn't you?
Yes.
I did it too, guys. Yes.
You got to buy them clear T-shirts, and then you don't have to worry. You can just turn them inside out. When you make that mistake, you can turn them inside out.
Anyway, so I've got the cup here somewhere. I'll have to find it real quick. But fortunately enough, I've only out of all the cups that I've done about 10 or 12. And guess what? I'm selling them like hotcakes. As fast as I can make them, I'm selling them. Oh, let me get it. I'll show you.
You can't count family members.
You know,
I'm not,
you know
I'm
those,
not,
those,
I'm not
those
counting
light up-
family members. I'm
Okay.
printing stuff that I take to church, and the church people love it. I put church stuff on it, and then the church people love it. This is the one that I
yeah.
You know what you do with that now to make that?
to say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15.
Hey,
You
you
put
know
it
what
on
you,
my
you,
too,
you
right?
know what you know what you do with that now, so it works. You glue that to your back on your back behind your seats in the back of your vehicle, and that when looking at in the mirror, it'll be
It
right.
looks great.
It looked
It
right.
looks- yeah.
Hey,
All
you
right,
meant to do
so-
it that way.
Let's get back. Dixon, tell us where we can find you.
Dixon Hoffman. You can find me at HoffmanScienceAndDecals.com.
Donna.
Donna Presley, Donna's Embroidery Plus. You can find me if you look, but you're just going to have to look.
Jim.
Jim Bashirs from Driveway Workshop. Had a pretty cool day yesterday. I had my 1 year checkup after I had that part of my colon taken out. And they only found a couple of little polyps. So I'm still CO tooting. Probably will be for a day or two. So I had to
That's
tell
great.
you guys that because that CO tooting joke's been in my head for 2 days. And I just
That's great.
tell it to somebody.
My brother had to have 3/4 of his colon taken out because of cancer, and
I lost a third.
he
of
didn't
mine.
have to. He didn't have to have the colostomy bag,
Yeah.
and he is 10 years cancer free.
Yeah, good for him.
10 years cancer.
People,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
Yep. Chris.
Again, Chris here at the old Cranky Workshop, the messy Cranky Workshop behind me. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook because I'm too lazy to monitor the other systems.
Hey, Chris, how do you like that alien tape?
Oh, it's not my first roll. I've had it before. I like it. So,
Yeah.
problem
It's
is,
good stuff.
what kills me is they came in Ziploc bags with instructions.
Yeah.
I can't get a Ziploc bag for my potato chips, but I can for tape.
Yep. Exactly.
Jeez.
Al, my good friend Al. Hey, first off, have you been having fun at the fair, whatever?
The fair has been great. Today was
Good.
the day that we had to be there. We had the Vex robots there. That
Right.
the part, but I did a MacGyver on one of them. We lost the screw, so I took a piece of metal. And anyway, I was telling this one person that stopped by, I said, you know what? When they say that robots will take over your job and stuff, I don't believe it because they keep falling apart. You got to fix it. You know?
Yeah. They're going to have people to fix it. That's for sure.
Hey, you guys would be surprised, man. When McDonald's gets their first automated kitchen, you're going to be eating your words, and it's not far off.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So is it perfect? Is it perfect? Never breaks?
I just installed
those
3 of
things-
them. I just installed 3 of them that got rid of 3 people on each line. And they'll pay for themselves in 6 months, and they don't call in sick, and they get no holiday pay.
Yeah, they're
All right, Al.
they got-
Anyway, tell us
they
where
got
we can find you and what you're doing on Twitch. Hey, everybody, let Al finish.
Kilroy 79763. As you see there, you can look me up everywhere. Twitch 2 p.m. Central. Like I said, Paul and I were talking about this. We're gonna do lasers. I've been working on these little drawers forever. But anyway, I'm almost done with the cabinet too. And hey, Paul, were you there when the belt came off and just messed up and stuff or not? But anyway, I got a new belt. I was going to buy a new belt sander. Went and bought the belts, came back, tried to fix the tracking and stuff. I dropped the sander, 4x36. Anyway, come back, put it on. I can't get it tracked. I took my trusty Minecraft hammer and whacked it. The thing is, it even sounds great. It's like, now it hums. But anyway.
Sometimes you'd be surprised. I've done that before. I understand what you're saying. I've been so mad at something because it wasn't working. I hit or threw it on the floor one time on one of them and picked it up, pulled the trigger, and the sucker perfect.
I'm like, this thing must like to be abused because I dropped it, I heard it, okay, I get that. But then when I took of course it's a rubber mallet, it's a a hubcap mallet, right? But it works great for everything in the shop. I whacked that sucker.
So, once again, if y'all will help me watch the chat, if y'all have any questions on woodworking, CNC, laser,
3D printing.
sublimation, 3D printing. I mean,
Put
embroidery. Donna has us covered with embroidery. So yeah, just I enjoy learning and doing new things. For instance,
Dixon and I are going to have an industrial robotics show or a discussion show here. So
There you go.
by playing around with my sublimation. So I made this cup. This is just one of this one was totally for me and our new adventure business construction.
So did you make that, or is that the one your daughter made?
No, I made this one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I have everything now that she has to make sublimation.
Hey, that's on there straight, not backwards.
Yes. No, because I didn't make the mistake with this one.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I just make the mistake with this one.
You just sell a mirror with that one at the flea market. Put a mirror next to it and say that.
And then I did that one, and I have been making stuff for our church, or just making like Christian cups. This is one I did. America needs Jesus. Oh, these are hot sellers. As fast as I can make them, they're selling. I've also made them with Bible verses on them and different things. And this is my latest one that I made. Only problem, this was my first try. It's Follow Me to Willow Oak Baptist Church. And then that's our belief as far as Willow Oak with the little Bible and Jesus loved you. Well, if you look at the this part here, this is one part, but it takes in consideration for this leaf. So therefore, if you look at it and line it with we believe, it's off.
Yes, it is.
And that's because of the leaf over here. So what I've got, I just printed this one just as a test. I mean, the Bible just is perfect.
It looks really good.
I mean, yeah, it looks sharp. Everything is sharp and crisp. So what I'm going to have to do is go back in, and rather than let the computer center this stuff, is move this over and let the leaf be off over here to the side, so that the Willow Oak Baptist Church will align with we believe and everything.
You put the leaf on later, or you separate that on the computer later.
Yeah,
you stick it on there and then don't.
This one I did for our church. And I'm going to be doing when I'm for church people. I'm only these can go for $35. I mean, easily. So what I'm doing is I'm going to sell these to the church members for $25, and then you're supposed to tithe 10% wholly unto the Lord. And so every one that I sell, I will give $2.50 to the church, and they're gonna. It ain't a lot of money, but in the same aspect, if I sell 100 of them, that's $250. So, but that's
where do you get those cups at, Russ?
You look online at different companies. My daughter does the same thing. Ashley, she's the one that got me into this. And you get the best deal at Amazon. You look for, most of the time you buy them by the case, which is usually 24 in a case. And then if you like buy 2 cases, it's even cheaper. I bought these cups, cost me $3.90 a piece for buying 24.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
not bad.
really, yeah, if you buy them by bulk, it's really a lot cheaper, and you can get them. And that's the reason I'm able to sell them for 25 and still donate $2.50 to the church, because I was buying them by the case. And what you do is you buy them. You just go on Amazon and type sublimation 20-ounce cups or whatever, and you start looking for the deal. And then when you lock into somebody, you can choose to reorder every so many days. Like you can pick 20 days or 2 weeks, 14 days, or 30 days. And when you pick that, it actually locks in the price so that every 30 days you get a case of cups and you get it cheaper. So
James wants to know if he sent you a picture of his wife. Can you make him a mug?
yes, I can do pictures on those. Yes, yes. It needs to be high quality, but I will talk to you, James, Mr. Parker. Hey, dude, my heart goes out to you. I know you're still. Let me get me off of myself. I'm sorry. I got to figure out how to do this. Go up here. Go to Pixel Solo Layout. Yes.
Getting ready to tell Paul to help you there.
No, my heart goes out to you. I know without a shadow of a doubt, James lost his wife to cancer, and I know without a shadow of a doubt you're hurting, my friend. I do know that, and I would be more than happy to make a cup for you and send me the picture, and I'll look at it and see if it's high enough quality. I should be able to do it. Photoshop, I'm learning Photoshop so much. That is the most powerful program for photos I've ever seen in my life. I do, before we go any further else, I do want to show off. I did, where's it at?
Yeah, we thought you were sewing T-shirts together there for a minute.
That's sublimation on a shirt.
Were you supposed to
This-
spell construction wrong?
This stuff, sublimation is the next thing best to embroidery. And the reason I say that because this is a 90% polyester. Sublimation ink loves polyester. It bonds to polyester.
Hey, we got a question. Can you laser those too? And I'm assuming everyone calls is saying
Yes, I can laser cups too. Yes, I can laser cups too. I can take a Yeti cup that is like red and burn. Actually, laser, what it does is it burns the red off and shows the stainless steel underneath. Because that's what Yetis are. They're stainless steel cups, and they are, what's it called?
Powder coated.
Powder coated. Thank you. They're powder coated, and you're just burning the powder coat off of them. Yes, I have rollers for that. But anyway, I am very proud of myself. I got this sucker actually aligned. I was like, but yeah. And this is permanent. I mean, permanent. My daughter made one 6 months ago and still wearing it. And she gave my wife one for her birthday. And yeah, this is permanent. The next best thing, which I love, embroidery. Embroidery is just like so fascinating the way it can make the stitches and everything. And that's pretty well permanent. You pretty well have to wear the shirt out, don't you, Donna, to get the embroidery off? Yeah.
Depends on who embroiders it.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
if they do it right. If it's done correctly, I got stuff that's 10 years old, and actually the shirt is getting holes, not at the embroidery, but other and it's like, okay, I got to quit wearing
Well,
that.
this shirt that I did this Russell on.
Other side.
You're backwards on the.
Other side.
Yeah, the other side. There you
There
go.
you
There you go.
Push it. There you got it.
This shirt. This is one of my favorite. I have this one and a blue one, and they're exactly the same except it's blue instead of orange. It's finally starting to give away. I got little holes in it. I wore it the other day, and my wife said, "Are you actually going to wear that out? It's got holes in it." I said, "It's my holy shirt.
It's a Sunday shirt.
That's my holy shirt. You know, it's my holy shirt." But anyway, so that's the reason I experimented with this. But yeah, I do like sublimation. I do. And there's things that you can do with it that I'm not going to show because if I showed them, I would not get the royalties off that I'm going to get from this. So I can't share them. But I will tell you that sublimation is fantastic. I've sublimated some stuff that people have not done before, and I talked to my daughter, and she was like, "I didn't know you could do that." And I said, "Oh yeah, you can. I tried it, and it works." And she was like, "No way!" And I said, "Yeah."
That's the dog
Hey,
again.
Russ, what kind of heat press did you get to do cups and mugs?
You have to have a actual cup heat press.
Yeah, did you get
My
one
daughter-
that has like a blanket on it, or is it?
Yeah, it's circular in diameter, and you put your mug in it, and you have to test the pressure of the size of the mug. It's limited to sizes. It's also limited to. It does not like. This is a straight mug. It does not like tapered mugs. But in some of my experimentation, I found out it will do a tapered mug, but it's limited to the size of the taper. In other words, it will go from like this to like here, which is like about 4 inches down or so on a tapered mug. And then it can't print down here because the heat press can't squeeze on. It's actually the opposite. Can't squeeze this in. But you can do tapered mugs from about 4 inches to the top because the heat press will grab a hold of that part. And that's the thing I was talking about when I talked to my daughter-in-law. I said, "Did you know you could do this?" And I showed her my cup, and she went like, "Oh, hell no." And I said, "Yeah, you can do this." And I am looking for a heat press that will do tapered mugs. But for right now, there's a from the top of the mug, 4 inches down is good and clear, even on tapered. The heat press will squeeze good enough around it that it will make it work.
It's really nice too. That I like that. That seems like it's nice and solid.
It is. My daughter is the one that made this one and gave it to me, and this one is the try that in a small town, you know. And as soon as I seen this, I said, when she showed me this or gave me this, she goes, "I made this for you because I know she knows me." And I'm like, hell yeah, try that in a small town. You get your ass shot.
I got a question, but I don't know if it's already been asked. Can you engrave the cups you use for sublimation?
I don't understand what you mean by engrave.
I think you answered it already with the laser.
You wouldn't want to use a sublimation cup. I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but they are stainless steel underneath. So I guess, yes, you could sublimate or use a sublimation cup and engrave on it, yes. But with the laser, it's different. You can take a Yeti cup and you can, because it's powder coated, and you can actually burn the powder coat off the Yeti and make your own cup. I've done it on several cups.
Okay,
So,
it's
yeah.
time to play Mind Blown. Have you seen on YouTube the guys that will laser off the powder coating on a cup and then put a different color
Yep.
of powder coating material on it, turn the heat down on the laser, and then
Yep.
go over it again so you can have colored laser.
Yep, I did it.
Yes, I have.
I've done it with 3 colors.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have.
that's so cool.
It
Yeah.
comes out
Yeah.
awesome. Like the Incredible Hulk came out awesome.
They actually, you can use powder coating on wood. Yes, you can actually laser the wood just like you would do. You're going to paint it,
Yeah.
and you have to have the tape, or whatever you want to call it, over the top of the wood, which cuts through the tape. Yes, and then what you do is go back and you fill in the part that got lasered out. Yes, powder
Yeah.
coat
There you
with
go,
the
Al.
powder coat, and then you do it at a lower speed, and it goes back and actually burns the powder coat into
Yeah.
the wood.
That's it.
I also saw, and I haven't done it this way, but I also saw Louisiana hobby guy take a hair dryer, a heat blower, and
Yep.
come down on it slowly, and I guess it melts the top of the powder coat, and actually does the same thing. You don't have
Really?
to re-laser it. I guess
Yeah.
you could.
I watch his videos all the time. I missed that one.
Yeah,
With a
that
hair
was,
dryer?
that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
It's fun
gotta
to
check
play.
that
It's
out.
fun to play with, but the more feasible when it comes to making money. That's why sublimation is so popular, because you can do colored
Well,
images, and you
exactly.
can't do it like that with lasers and stuff. You know,
This cup,
it's not
I
feasible.
went in and designed this cup, and actually, I take that back. I found a picture. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I found a picture on the internet that said this, and I was able to grab it, download it, and put it into sublimation and print it. So, the difference between like burning with a laser, you can take a red cup and you can burn the red off, or like you were talking about, Jim, you can add the powder coat back to it and do colors. But sublimation will produce a picture, just picture perfect of what you want to do. I really am impressed with sublimation. I mean, and here the thing is, now, and I think did I tell this to y'all? Sublimation and the I can't.
Polyester.
Yeah, sublimation loves polyester.
Yeah.
This is 90% polyester. This will not come off. Now, the difference between, if you have a Cricut, you can do, which I did on this shirt, which is actually over here. You can do vinyl iron on, but vinyl iron on likes cotton. It does not like polyester. It doesn't want to adhere to it. It adheres better. So it's funny that you can take vinyl and put it on cotton, and sublimation wants to go to polyester. So that's the difference. And I experimented with some polyester with the vinyl, and I took some old shirts that I had that were like pretty much cotton t-shirts, and tried to print out on my Cricut the vinyl and stick it to it, and it did not like the polyester. It did not want to bond. I took 100% cotton t-shirt and put it on and run the Cricut and did that, and it stuck right to it just without any problem. You leaving?
Yep. See you later.
Right.
Yeah, Paul.
Hey, take care of yourself. How are you doing, by the way, just health-wise? I know you've had some issues. How's your wife?
She's having problems. Her arthritis is really bad, and it's settled in her lungs. So that
Bless her heart.
that's yeah. She's having kind of a tough time, but she's coming along.
Well, God bless you, my friend.
See you next week.
See
Talk
you.
to you during the week.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? Weird that the one likes cotton and one likes polyester. It's like, I think it's
Well, that keeps
I just
one from messing with the other one's business.
now the one thing I wanted to ask you about that too, Donna, is does it make a difference if it's cotton or polyester when you embroider it?
Nope.
Is it better to use a backing on it or go without a backing
Oh no, you use a backing on everything.
on a shirt?
On anything you do on your embroidery machine, you have the stabilizer. Some people say, "Oh, you don't have to use stabilizer." Yes, you do. You use
Now, when you say stabilizer, what is this? Explain that to me, please.
Okay, stabilizer is what goes behind either if you're doing something on vinyl or something on cloth or whatever. You have stabilizer. Now I have a big machine, so I got the really big rolls. Okay, this one is wash away. You have wash away, you have cut away, you have tear away. Depends on what you're making.
It's
I
your
use
support,
wash away on
right?
everything.
It's your
That's
it's
your
your
support
backing
box.
support, right?
Yes,
Yep.
that's your
That's
back
what I figured.
support.
Yep.
And there was one girl. She got a machine she's got one like I have, and she was like showing a shirt that she did, and it's like, oh well, it's not working, and it's bunching up, and it's the where's your stabilizer? She didn't have a stabilizer. She had no idea what she was doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to learn up on this stuff.
Which type of stabilizer is better, or is the wash away? I mean, which have you experimented to know which one's better than the other?
I prefer the wash away. They will tell you if you wear it, don't tear it. Because it's a weak one, because you can tear it with your hands. You want to use cutaway. If it's on clothes, you want to use cutaway. I use wash away on it because that way, when I get done, I can throw it in the wash and that stabilizer's coming off. And as long as you have your hoop tight, then it's going to be okay. If you use the cutaway, you're going to cut around it after you're done, and it'll leave that other part's going to stay on. You'll see most any embroidery that you have done. If there's a piece of paper back behind there, it's usually cutaway. That's the stabilizer.
That's our church for the security team. They're embroidery shirts with Willow Baptist Church, and it says security because I'm on the security team.
Right.
And it's cutaway. It's cutaway. I know exactly what you're saying because as soon as you said it, yes. Because when I turn this shirt inside out, I can see the backing, and they took little scissors and cut around it.
Correct. I use wash away, so when I'm done, I'll wash it, and it's off of there. It's just a thread. And if somebody with sensitive skin or a child, I put Tender Touch on it, which you put that on the inside, and it keeps from the threads from itching you.
Right.
So
that's interesting because I want to get into embroidery. That's another adventure I'm gonna get into. So
main thing is learn your tension.
Your tension.
Glenna uses that tearaway backing, but she gets big rolls of it like you do.
Right.
But she uses that, and then that's why she got her heat press, because when she's making little pieces to make purses out of, she'll put that backing on it and then run it through the heat press, and then and then sew it together that way, and it like never frays or never comes apart on her.
Okay, so does she have the heat away?
She's got a sublimation 15 by 15 thing that you would use to do sublimation with. It's like a teal colored green with the timer and all that other crap on the top.
The stabilizer that she's using. Is she using fusible? She might be using fusible cotton. You put that on the inside.
You got me. You're going right now for me.
It's going to be fusible because she's using a heat press, right?
Right. It
depends on what she's doing. If she's doing embroidery, it's different than if she's doing the stabilize the pieces.
Right. If you're doing a purse, you have fusible fleece. You have Decoville, which is also a fusible, but it's a stabilizer. But you also have fusible fleece that you use on purses and stuff. So there's really a lot of different kinds. I'm just now learning the purse stuff.
Yeah, when I got her that Juki industrial machine, she's like flipped over to purses, and that's all she's been making is purses and stuff for roller derby things like wheel cases and stuff like that. She's been doing all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a Judy.
We have a question out here that I don't understand, and I'm not sure. Why not CNC says, I just started white toner printing. It goes on every material and in any color. I don't understand, or do y'all understand what he's saying?
Well, you can probably see the white on any color, but if you use, you were talking last week about if, it's good to use light colored t-shirts.
Yes.
Because it comes through better. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, any light, and that's the reason I chose this one for Clarity Construct. It was a light gray white material, and I went with a navy blue color, and it turned out perfect.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it turned out perfect. And this is like 90% polyester, I think it is. So it stuck really well. But I don't quite understand. I just started using white tone. If you would like to explain that, I will definitely talk about it.
He's just telling us that he's starting to print with white toner, which you can put white. You can put white on any color.
Right.
It's going to show up good.
Well, that's the thing about sublimation is that there is no white.
Right.
Yeah. So if you wanted something white for sublimation is clear. It doesn't have a white. You would have to, like, let's say that I wanted to do, only way I can explain it was this. Let's say that I wanted to do this image in white. The only way to do it is to do a blue color all the way around in the square and leave the interior part white, which would be clear for the sublimation, but you would have a blue square with this all in white in the middle. That would look like kind of dumb.
Yeah, see, they try to stay away from that in that business because it's what you call a patch. You don't want a patch on there.
Yeah. So
what is white toner printing?
I don't know what white toner print. That's the reason I'm asking if he would explain it to me.
He must have a machine. He's using toner cartridges, and he's got a way to print on it with toner cartridges.
That's the only way I can.
Color printers. They've got 4 colors, not white.
Well, my printer actually has. I bought the high dollar.
Does yours have white?
Printer. Mine actually it has no white, but it has 8 colors. Right. Yeah. Instead of your, normal printers print black, magenta, or whatever.
CGMK.
Yeah. Mine has 8. So there's mine actual printer has gray, which I've never seen a printer with gray before. I was like, holy crap, gray. Yeah. But yeah, it has different tones, which makes up it use RGB is red, green,
blue,
and black. Or blue.
No.
Yeah, sorry, blue. Yeah, so but the CM, what is it? CM
magenta.
It's cyan, magenta, and black, which is K. But what's the other
primary?
One?
Yeah, so that's a different color set. So with my supplemental, it carries actually 8 colors. That's the reason you can get such great quality of a print on. But all your cups that you buy for sublimation are white. I can't hear you, Donna. Here, because I make
You're muted. You're muted.
Donna, you muted yourself somehow.
I muted myself because I was talking to my grandson. What's up?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
We thought you were talking to us. And you're. I'm like.
No, I was talking, so I muted because we were talking about.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the sublimation printer I had. That's the reason it was high dollar because it has 8 colors. And so the colors that come out. Now, I will notice this when you print on sublimation paper and you look at it, it looks really faded. You're going like,
Yeah.
really? That's red? Because
Looks
it
like
does
junk.
not look right. It doesn't look like red. But when you stick that sucker on the cup and you heat it and you pull it out, it's red, dude.
The colors will pop.
Yeah.
Hey, Donna, Glenna said she uses FS 101.
Uh-huh.
So she's making this stuff for roller derby people right now.
Cool.
It's to put wheels in for their skates. And she's making different other kinds of wheel bags. I can't see them good because I'm on my back porch.
Ask her if she's made a math pack. I'm fixing to make one, and she can like help me.
A MAV pack? All right, we'll
good
get her in
question.
touch with you.
Good question from Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Designs. Rust, how much does it cost to fill all the ink cartridges? Do the odd colors cost more? No. Sublimation colors do cost a little bit more than normal ink for your regular printer. Like you have a printer that has the black and the other three RGB colors. It costs a little bit more, but it's very comparable. I think I would spend.
But it lasts longer.
Yeah, I would spend probably. All right, so I have a nice Epson printer, office printer that I use all the time for printing things, and a black ink cartridge for that. Even the big black ink cartridge, not the little one, the big black ink cartridge is $40. Okay. So for a whole set of them, you're looking at probably around 30, and this is the little ones. You're looking at probably around $40. All right. I can buy all 8 colors for a sublimation print for around $60. So if you look at the compromisation between what you're printing, it's really not that bad. I mean, you say $60, but that's 8 colors. And that's, now hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I don't remember where I put it. And that's not cartridges, that's bottles. You're buying bottles of ink, which will actually fill your machine twice. Okay? That's bottles of ink. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well, he's doing that. Here's the dull color of sublimation. And these would pop once they get heated on the mug. These colors will just pop. It'll be a lot more vibrant, like 4 times more vibrant. Once this image is put on a mug, it'll be so much brighter.
Yeah, this is the sublimation ink, and it took half of this bottle to fill my cartridge. So and this was $60-something. I think
you're buying the good stuff. You're buying the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because the tall bottles are a lot cheaper. Like
We got that high proof stuff, and I didn't think it was that expensive.
No, if you look at the price, and this filled the cartridges half, and I have just I filled them all in the beginning, and I've done like 15 cups, the shirt, 4 or 5 other things, and they're down like 1/4 of an inch from the tanks I'm looking at. So yeah, the ink is this is Hippo. My daughter recommended this. She heard it from some friends, and it's Hippo ink, and she said that's, from what she understands, that's really great ink, and I followed my daughter's instructions because I trust her.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. And she's been doing, this is printed with Hippo ink.
Yeah.
You know, everything that she does is printed with this.
So Russ, something we were talking about in the chat a little while ago, are those tumblers that you get for sublimation, are they just metal, or do they have any powder
they're
coating on
stainless
them?
steel. They are stainless steel. They're stainless steel covered
Even on
with
the outside.
Yeah, covered with whatever they need to cover for the sublimation on the outside.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
And the reason they're flat is because of the fact that you get the whole cup covered. Tapered cups have a problem. You can only, and this is something I experimented myself, is by doing a tapered cup, you could only come down about 3.5, maybe 4 inches from the top, where you could actually sublimate, because the taper as it drops off won't get on the heater. Now, what I'm looking at is to find if they make heaters or presses for the heat that you can adjust the size, so to speak.
I've seen those. That's why I asked you earlier what kind you had.
Yeah,
Because they're like a heater belt, and then when you pull it around, it pulls all around. If you got the coffee mug handle in the way, it's not a big
Here,
deal.
I'll show you the one that my daughter used.
He doesn't have the silicone one. He has the clamshell mug.
Yep.
And then you can buy clamshell mugs too that have a hinge on, so you can do
I
different
have
size mugs.
the clamshell mug is what you use for the t-shirts.
Yeah. No, we're talking the mug heater.
The mug one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
yeah.
got
It's talking
clamshell.
like a heater mat.
Yeah, they got
instead
the
of
silicone ones, and then you can put
Yeah.
them around any type of mug. And then they got the clamshell heat mugs that have a jaw on them, and they can stretch with the hinge.
Yeah.
And you can do different size mugs, but the silicone ones you can do on any shape
Yep.
or any bevel. Like this one is skinnier down here. Them silicone ones you can stick on there and do those.
You know
Right.
what would be
And that's what I
cool
want
is
to
if you could.
experiment. I'm looking for that for the new adventure to be able to.
What would be really cool is if you could use that heat
This
tape.
is the one. If
and
you can
tape
see
this-
my, if you can see my.
It's not just me then.
That's
This is the one I bought. It's only $116.
Say that again, Jim.
No, never mind.
Because I did take a cheap $90
but they also
mug heater,
I
and
had
I hooked it up to my press with a
flat
switch, and then I could use the same machine for both units.
the other times.
No, I thought it would be kind of cool if you could take. You know how you buy the tape, the heat tape.
Yep.
If you could tape the sublimation thing to it, tighten it up, and then just set the thing in the oven and let it go to town.
You
I
got
don't know how much it
Actually,
would bore it. You know.
Got it.
Actually, you can and can't do that, Jim. I have watched a lot of videos on that, and you can do the sublimation in an oven, but what you have to do is have shrink wrap.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Even if
what it is the sublimation needs to be held tight
Yeah.
onto whatever you're sublimating.
Yep.
Now, you can do it in your home. You need a convection oven. The reason I said the convection oven is because air circulates in a convection oven. What are y'all laughing at?
I was laughing at Heirloom Game Calls, man. Me and him have been going back and forth in the chat all night about stupid stuff.
Is it charcuterie just something to make Generation Rays on?
Well, that was the first one,
Oh,
and now he's afraid that he's going to get busted by the Secret Service if he gets cut loose with a sublimation system, and he can put anything he wants to on a T-shirt.
okay.
And
So
I gotta
anyway,
really like the fact that he's doing it out in the chat, because I remember before I was on the show, that's all I came in the chat for.
All right, so this lady was taking tumblers that were oblong or different sizes.
Yeah.
And but the problem being is when you print your paper or print your sublimation, it is on a square piece of paper, unless you somehow know how to oblong it around. So when she was putting it on there, she was having to form it to the mug, which was causing certain wrinkles. But what she did was she bought sleeves that she could put her cup in and then do a heat gun and heat shrink those. It was heat shrink sleeves, and she would heat shrink those to the cup, which would pull everything nice and tight in, and then she would put it into an oven at 360 degrees for like 1 minute or what. I don't remember exactly the time, so I'm off on that. But then when she pulled it out, she peeled away the heat shrink. She pulled away the sublimation, and by God, it was right on there, just as pretty as could be. So
I have a shirt that says "Jesus loves you. Everyone else thinks you're an idiot." Heirloom. Yeah.
what is it?
I need to make that.
Oh my God.
Jesus loves you, but everything's. Did he put that on there?
Everyone else thinks you're an idiot.
There's actually a song that says Jesus loves you, everyone else thinks you're a jerk.
Oh. Well, hey, I got news for you. As long as Jesus loves me, I don't give a flying flip what any of y'all think.
Exactly.
Because I plan on, my plan is, and I hope that I make it, is being in heaven. I don't want to go to hell. That's for damn sure. So I said the other day, asked this guy a question. It was on one of the TikTok videos, and he said about heaven or hell. He goes, "Well, at least if I go to hell, I'll be with a lot of my friends." And I'm thinking to myself, if you read the description of hell in the Bible, I don't think you're going to be having a good time. Now, I'm not trying to preach, but I will say this much: without a shadow of a doubt, Jesus does love you. No matter who you are or what you do, he loves you. It's between you and him that happens. It's out of my hands. It's out of everybody's hands. That's the discussion you're going to have with him. So I'll just leave it at that.
Remember, for God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, so that those
That whosoever believe in him should ever have everlasting life. Yes.
So that's what God says. Gotta believe it. Gotta believe in his Son.
Dan Inge said, Jesus love you, but the devil gives you the cool shit.
That's his job. Hey, Russ, can I share my screen for a minute?
Sure, no problem.
I'll show you the heat press that she's got downstairs. It
Oh, I
keeps
wanna
tripping
see
my
this.
office, the circuit breaker in the basement, and my office goes offline on me while I'm working. When she turns that, she turns her hand iron on at the same
Yeah, my
time.
wife was saying, "How are you getting all these cool toys?" And I said,
Can't believe you didn't put a dedicated circuit in there.
"I don't.
I am now. I'm going to.
I don't have." I said, "I don't have any payments. I own everything in my house. I mean, I can buy whatever I want within reason. I mean."
Yeah. Okay, I got my screen up now.
Circuits. I have a.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one we got downstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think it's like 15. Yeah, 15 by 15,
Yeah.
and it.
T-shirts, heat up faster. That's not mine's not totally like that. Mine's
No, that's a special heat press. That's for
Yeah.
what she's doing. That's a
Yeah, she just tosses stuff inside it and heat presses it, and it stabilizes the fabric for her. But now we've got this printer. We're gonna start doing T-shirts. So
if that was my wife's, I would find out how
Jim,
good
why do
that
you have
could
to
make
duplicate
bacon.
everything I do?
I could find out how many eggs and bacon you can make on that.
I have dedicated breakers. I have one for my embroidery machine, one for my heat press, and one for my
Yeah,
air
I do.
So they each have their own.
breakers.
And
Yeah.
the rest of the machines
That's
I only use one at a time anyway.
When I built this room for my mother, which I'm sitting in right now, I decided to myself, and it was just a thought. If I want to build something, I want to build it this way. And so every 4 outlets in this room is on its own breaker. Okay? And there's 16 outlets.
Well, I think you're only supposed to put 6 on a.
But I
15
did
amp.
4, and there's
Yeah, no, that's good.
16
That's
outlets.
good.
So therefore, there's an outlet everywhere in this dadburn room, and you pretty well don't have to worry because they're all on 20 amp breakers on top of that. So you pretty well, I can plug in anything I want to anywhere I want to in this room. I don't have to worry about the power source.
When I was in,
I built it that way because I thought to myself, if I ever, if I was looking toward the future, unknowingly that the future would be what it is right now, but I was looking toward the future saying, if I ever wanted to use that room for something, I want to have the power available,
I have to rewire.
Yeah, I don't have to rewire, don't have to add nothing.
Yeah.
And so every 4 feet, it's about 4 foot. Every 4 foot in this room is a breaker. So you don't have to worry about, and 4 of those breakers are on one breaker, and 4. So, yeah.
When I was in 7th and 8th grade, like one of my mentors was my art teacher, and he was a retired architect. He just didn't want to be an architect anymore. So we would draw floor plans in art class, and then he would teach me how to put outlets and stuff like that, and where they're supposed to be in the house, and how many are supposed to be on one breaker and all that. So the guy was like really good with that stuff, and that's what really got me into electrical. And then I kind of got into electronics and control systems after that. But that guy got me going with that stuff.
I think that's Florida code myself, Jim. I think you can have
80%.
a combination of 6 things on a 20 amp breaker. You
It's
can have
80% of your circuit. So you
Yeah,
got
you
a
can
20
have, like-
amp, you're supposed to only run 16, non-continuous.
Yes, non-continuous. You're right, but you can do like 4 outlets and 1 light or whatever. It's a combination of whatever they pull. But another thing I did was when I wired this room, the breakers are all on one or different, and the lights are on a separate circuit. So I can turn all the lights off in the room.
Me too.
All the outlets will work in this room.
Now, having said all of that, when I worked at Inland Steel, I was an instrument controls person. And we used to do something where we would always run, we'd take 12 gauge yellow, that THNN or SOW extension cord,
Yeah.
and we called it yellow conduit. And we would just because the electricians were lazy, man. They would never run conduit for us. So we would string extension cord up through the whole steel. The whole steel mills run on yellow conduit, man. It's like all the instruments and stuff.
The expensive
wires.
I ran some outdoor
cables.
stuff, and I didn't want to put conduit in the ground. In other words, so I bought the
direct burial.
The wire that's made to bury. In other words, you don't have to have conduit. That stuff's expensive as crap.
Yeah, it is, but it's cheaper than running conduit and
it is cheaper and it's easier, but it's expensive.
I've got a whole spool of 12 gauge in the garage of that stuff.
And that's everything that's in this room. There is no 14 gauge wire in this room. It's all 12 gauge.
That wire is not cheaper than the conduit. You don't bury conduit. You bury the 40 schedule, and then you run wires through it underground.
Well, plastic. Yeah, plastic's cheaper.
So you're supposed to schedule 40 will outlast all of that, but the wire, that's expensive.
But
it's so expensive.
There's no. I didn't even put 14 gauge for the lights, and which I could have done at the time. Was lights don't pull that much, so I could run all the lighting here off of 14. I put 12 gauge on the lights.
I ran 500 CMC to my kitchen.
Yeah.
Really? I ran a two
No,
inch, 2.5
500
inch.
CMC cable is that
Well,
big
we have
around,
in
and it's
my
got three
kitchen.
conductor with a ground that big. 500
I have
CMC.
3 ovens in my kitchen. 3.
When
I
I
have
was
a
an
wall.
apprentice, we cut this MCM 500 MCM by the mill. We cut it out, and you had to cut it out in foot lengths because it was so heavy.
Yeah,
And we
God.
cut the old
I-
cable out
Yeah.
so we could lift it.
Yeah. But I when I bought my stove, it had a big convection oven. It's huge. But underneath is like what you would call a warmer tray underneath. But that sucker will get to 350 degrees. You can cook in that. And then we separately put because we at the time we were all every Christmas we had 23 to 30 people here for entertaining. So I put a separate wall oven in. So I have the warmer, which will get to 350 degrees. I have a big convection oven, and then I have a wall oven on top of all that. So, and I ran separate breakers to each the wall oven. The wall oven's on a 30 amp, and because of the size of the stove with the convection oven and the extra, I ran a 50 amp breaker to that with heavy wire. I think I used, I don't know, like,
You had to use number 8.
yeah. I used the
How
big
many amp
stuff.
was it?
I used it only required I think it was a 40 amp breaker, but I put a 50 amp breaker on it.
Yeah, about 8 is about right.
Yeah. Just
When
to
we
make
ran
sure I
the-
wouldn't have, because of the fact I have an island stove, and I also broke off of those breakers and put a separate breaker in, which was a 20 amp breaker off of one of those legs, and run 2 120 outlets
Feeds.
on both sides of the island, so that if you want to run a crock pot, you can put it on the island in front of the stove and reach around and plug it into 120 amps. And those were broke, and the breaker for that is actually located in the cabinet. So if it trips, I can just reach in the cabinet and trip it back off.
So you guys remember Green Acres
Oh,
on the
Green
farm? It's like,
Acres is
okay,
like
you got a number for this appliance and that appliance and this one, and you can't go over a certain number.
Farm living
Yeah.
is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Just give me that keep me that countryside. I remember that.
Yeah.
You remember how you climbed the telephone pole to use the phone?
Yeah.
Oh,
When
you
we
used
ran,
mine for a while.
when I ran power to the garage, I ran power and gas out there, and I put like 2.5 inch plastic and ran it out. But it was like Glenna was trying to like pull the cable in the garage, and I was pushing it through, and we had it all lubed up with that electrician's silicone lube that you use to pull wires through conduit with. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
She didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks, man. It's like, yeah, this is what we do at work, you know. You got to do this.
My shop has underground conduit 30 feet going to it, and I pulled all that through myself.
I blew the little, the tracer puller wire through there with the vacuum cleaner and stuff. She goes, "What are you doing?" Because I had the little, just like a little cone-shaped piece of paper on it, and I go, "I'm going to blow this leader through the conduit, and you should be able to catch it when I blow it through." She goes, "It's not going to go through there." And it's like, it's just like push it through about 30 feet of conduit.
I used
just like that. Yeah.
What do you call it? I used the wire.
Oh yeah,
the thing
I
you
know
run
what you're
through.
talking about. Yeah, I know.
I used the thing, the spool that you run it through the. Huh?
Yeah.
The fish, the
Well, the fish
Yeah,
tape.
fish. I used a wire
fish
fish.
tape.
Yes. Yeah, fish tape. Yeah, 150 foot, and I ran it through there, and then, tied them through and pulled it back through. But I used a lot of that silicone gel at 30 feet, and you're talking about number 8 wire pulling through that to go to my shop. That was, trust me, it was a tug to get it all the way through there.
When I was 27, I spent 2 weeks walking around a paper mill with a CO2 tank, punching 4-inch conduits for 2 weeks straight, putting leader strings in. And I'm telling you, that plug was that big around, and that thing would shoot down. I'm talking over 1,000 feet come out.
Scream through
Yeah.
those things, man.
Yeah.
What kind of wire did you pull through a 4-inch?
God, I don't remember what that was.
Well,
That was
like 3
that had a bed.
conductors or 4
All right, I got
conductors?
to go back up here.
Oh yeah, it was
some
huge.
comments I need to read.
3 conductors with a ground, but it was huge. It was like it was way over number 2 like you got in the house. It was just huge because we had to put chuggers and anchor them to the ground and use chuggers with rope. I just shot the leader string in, and then we pulled big rope through the pipes after that with chuggers.
Oh
yeah, I like what Al you put up there, because that's the same code for Florida too. He said according to DC, outlets should be installed so that no point along the wall is more than 6 feet from an outlet. This means that outlets should be spaced no more than 12 feet apart. And yes, that is Florida code too. In other words, they don't want you to have an extension cord any more than 6 feet long.
Yep.
Yeah, and I did it every 4 feet. So I even, like I said, this room has 16 outlets, and all 4 on different breakers. So
we just did the worst thing you can do in the world, and that's to start talking about electrical stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
But
Donna
now,
had something she was showing us before we
What did you show, Donna? I'm sorry, we missed you.
What? Brian was saying snake. I said, I show you a snake.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I had 5 of them the other day.
That's
A young kid at work laughed at me because I showed him my first code book and it said 1985 on it.
Just a little quick story. I was doing a remodel job, and we remodeled and totally tore the dining room and kitchen, totally destroyed everything. Moved plumbing. I mean, it was a total new remodel that you wouldn't believe on this condominium. And the lady was talking to me one day. We were just having a casual conversation. And she goes, we wanted so bad to always have that TV on that wall over there. And but we can't get the TV on the wall because the outlets are too far away or whatever. And the cable, they can't fish the cable down the wall because doing the fact that it's a condominium, which are 3 or 4 that are connected together, they have to have fire breaks through the middle of the wall, right? And I looked at her and I said, nobody can do that for you? She goes, no. I walked over and I opened up her service panel. I looked in it and I said, you got plenty of room in here for a breaker. And she goes, yeah, that's what they've told me, but they want they just said they can't fish it down the wall because of the
fire breaks
that are in it and everything. And I said,
no, you could do that.
I said, do you really want that in there? And she goes, oh, it'd be so much to me and my husband if we had that. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it all. And she goes, are you kidding me? And she goes, I said, no. I said, I'll take care of it, because I just laughed. I mean, it was a challenge, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to do it for her so that I could prove to her that all these other guys that told her it couldn't be done were idiots. I went and bought a drill bit set that had an auger bit that was 1 inch in diameter, and you would drill it so far, and you'd put another piece on it and screw it down, and the Allen key, and drill so far. You keep drilling until you drilled through. I drilled through those 2x4s and drilled through the 2x4s, and then I put it in a position, and then I went through and had a stud finder, and I finally found with a stud finder, because the stud finder picks up magnetic, and I found it and cut a hole, and actually it was right. I said, you know what? Sometimes just things fall out to luck. Right there was the dad burn drill bit. I tied a string around the drill bit and pulled the drill bit back up with the string and run the wire up through there, run it over to her brake box down. Needless to say, I put a outlet and her cable box next to each other on that wall, and they put their big screen TV on that wall. And she goes, we've been trying to get this done for 5 years.
Yep, I used to make 3-footers with threaded rod. 3-footers
Yep.
with threaded rod and a hole saw welded on the end.
Yep.
And I'm like, I looked at her and told her, I said, they just didn't want to mess with it. It was too much.
That's a pain in the
When
butt.
somebody tells me that I've asked 4 or 5 people and they said they can't do it, that's a challenge. I accept the challenge. I want to show you that I can do it. My God.
Yep. I used to take a string and put a nut on it and drop her down through the hole to get down to the
Yes.
bottom.
Yeah. So
Our
simple.
outside,
It's just that people like this lady had asked these other people, they just didn't want to spend the time, or it was, when somebody tells me I can't do something, I am damn sure going to see if I can do it. I mean, I'm not 100% successful, trust me, by no means, but I've had a lot of success when people said that you can't do that.
Our outside sales guy that worked out of Indianapolis, when he retired last year, him and his friend started a business to go around and do for just the cost of parts, electrical work for like older retired people that can't afford to have people come in and do it for them. And he calls me up every once in a while and says, hey, you should see the one I did today. It's like, he runs into the weirdest things to try to solve for people.
Well, Miss Donna, I might be contacting you to ask you a few questions about my new adventure. And like I said, that was so cheap, I decided. And I just want to play around to see if I want to get into embroidery. And I figure for $300, I can't,
Yeah, that's what I tell people. If you don't know if you want to do it, find you a cheap one or find a friend that lives close by that has one and check it out. Don't go. I started out with a single needle.
Yep.
And a month later, I had 7 needle. and about a month after that, I went to the 15 needle. I'm good.
Yeah. I just decided I just wanted to try it. I used to do embroidery, but my embroidery, when I did, my mom taught me how to do embroidery, and so I can sew. People still don't believe and it wasn't with a sewing machine; it was hand stitched. I can sew, and then my mom got a sewing machine, and I learned how to sew through her. So I can fix my own clothes. I don't need a woman, so to speak. So, but anyway, back in the day when I was taught, we had the hoop, but you actually did the embroidery with a needle and thread.
I've done that.
Yes, there was no machine that did embroidery. It was done by. I bought a jumpsuit. It was a red jumpsuit, and I went in and I embroidered Providence Fire Department, because that's where I got my first start as a junior volunteer. I put Providence Fire Department on one side and my name on the other side, embroidered that into that jumpsuit. And I used to wear it, and they all asked, where the heck did you get that? And I said, I made it. And they said, do what? And I said, I made it. I said, my mom taught me to be self-sufficient. I can cook and sew. I don't need a woman.
The guys here in town, it's kind of funny you say that, because the guys here in town bring Glenna their like dog training suits, and they've got like Velcro on them, like it's like 2.5 or 3-inch wide pieces of Velcro that they put the suits on with, and these things are heavy. They probably weigh 60 pounds, but they'll bring, when their suit gets all chewed up by the dogs, they bring it.
They
in.
have, she repairs it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
fixes it for them.
Well, it's like I tell my kids and my grandkids, I'm like, you will be self-sufficient. You will know how to do your own clothes.
You
will
got to be.
Yeah.
know how to fix whatever needs to be fixed. Because when you find somebody, I don't want you to be with somebody that you have to be with. You be with somebody that you want to. Because
My mom taught me and my brothers. We were self-sufficient. She taught us to cook. She taught us to sew. She taught us the things that we needed to have in case anything happened. And I want to tell you, thank God, because I had, at one point in my life, I had raised 4 kids by myself. And I had to learn. And when they,
that you knew how because of your mom, because she was like,
because of my mom, she taught me.
Take care of yourself.
Yep. I raised 4 kids at one time, but I was, I had 4 kids by myself for 11 and a half years before I got remarried to my wife now. 11 and a half years, 4 kids. So.
See, I got taught to go find a seamstress to take care of that stuff for me. No lie, when I lived by myself, a lady down the street did my laundry. I drop it off in the
That's
morning.
not a bad thing.
I drop it off in the morning. She'd bring it, put it up my front door in the evening. Cost me about $10 a week.
Yeah. We have had some things that my wife had a very, very elegant blouse that it had those little, at the neck it had that little piece, that little hoop that you put through a button or whatever, and a couple of things. And I found out that there's a seamstress in Mulberry, and she goes to our church, and she is fantastic. I mean, I've taken several things too because I didn't have the time. I bought a pair of red jeans, right? And the only one, because I was so fat, the only pair of jeans that I could get that my belly was like 6 inches too long.
Tractor Supply, man.
And I took them to her, and I said, "Can you take these up?" And she measured me off and pinned them up. And I said, "I'm supposed to do a sheriff's department thing next Wednesday, and this was like Friday. Is there any way you can have them done by Wednesday?" Because she knows I do Santa Claus stuff. And she goes, "They'll be ready by Tuesday morning. Come pick them up." And she cut them off and hemmed them for me and did everything. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, And she was like, "How much do you want?" She said, $20. I wrote her a $50 check. And she goes, "What?" And I said, "Don't worry about it. You got them done, and it's worth it to me." So.
Right, you got to pay for what it's worth.
Yeah, you got them. She was going to charge me $20, and I said, "Oh, it's worth more than that." So.
Yeah, Glenn, I had to buy a whole roll of that Velcro, and it was pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, that stuff ain't cheap. But I go to Home Depot and look at the little strips of Velcro. Like a 3-foot strip of Velcro 1 inch wide is like $10.
Yeah, she bought like a 5 or 6 yard long roll of it, and it was military grade stuff. Yeah. It was pretty expensive, but the guys they don't even like blink. What are you going to charge? Oh, I got to do $150 for this one. Okay. They just give her the money because they know it's hard to do and it's expensive to get the material for it.
I was looking back through Heirloom Game Call, said when I added my woodshed, I put a 100 amp sub panel in the shed, but only 50 amp main breaker on it. Well, cool.
Well, I can prove I can sew though. I have my own patches on my flight jacket. So
there you go, man.
I hated doing it, but I can do it.
What a trooper!
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. I think I told y'all before the show, but anyway, I'm re-registering with the state of Florida to become a general contractor. Next week, I will be going through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 hours each day. I will be going through refresh courses, refresh classes.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, 8 hours a day for 4 days. So
I just taught one of those last week.
Yeah, and so I will be rejuvenating my contractor's general contractor's license with the state of Florida. So next week, we may or may not have a show next Saturday. It depends on how I feel when I get home Friday afternoon from all that work, all that knowledge that's being crammed in my head for 4 days. So I might not like feeling having a show Saturday. That'll be iffy. I will let y'all know. Yeah, I will let y'all know pretty early Saturday morning. But the ones that the hardest part of the test is called A1A codes, which is the general contractor's knowledge about business as far as what are the contractor, the owner, the subcontractor, and the financial institute responsibilities when you're building a house. Those are the rough ones because they not only ask you questions verbatim, and it has to be word by word. It's an ABCD type of test. In other words, they'll ask you a question, you have ABCD, yeah. But it's word by word. It has to be exactly this right. And the second problem is they give you scenarios. For instance, let's say that I'm building a house and I signed a contract with Al and I'm going to build his house. Well, in the contract, it says I give him $1,500 allowance for light fixtures. This is just hypothetical, right? So Al goes down to Home Depot and charges $1,800 worth of light fixtures.
Way to go, Al.
Yeah. So who's responsible? Who's responsible?
Is that a question for the general
Yes,
public?
I'm asking. Yeah. Who's
I
responsible?
say you kick Al's butt for doing that.
Yeah, you're responsible, but you go after
turn it
Al.
No,
Al.
Al's responsible.
I think that's a change order.
Because it says
If it's in the contract, Al's responsible.
You changed it.
Al's responsible.
Change order.
So he has to pay me $300 before I will let him have his house. So it's questions like that, but that's in the A1A documents for the state of Florida. So you have to know that's the hard one. That's the one you have really hard. As far as some of the mathematics is plain algebra, there's a little geometry in there, but it's like, you have a wall that's 8 foot high, 30 foot long, and you need to know how many blocks it has. A 3 foot by a 6 foot opening for a door and 2 openings for windows. How many blocks does it take to fill that wall? I've done it so much over the years. That's not a problem. I can figure that out. First off, you take the square footage of the windows 4 by 3. There's 2 of them, which is 12, which is 24 square feet, and then you do the 3 foot by 6 foot, which is 18. Added to that and subtract what the 8 foot by 30 foot, which is what 3D makes 240 foot. Subtract that, but that's how many blocks.
Russ, why don't you just do building inspections instead of all this other
Why
stuff?
are you working in the first place?
Exactly.
Dick said, man, some of us just have to keep doing stuff in our professions, man. It's just
Well, that's why I play with all these hobbies and everything. I'm not.
I
Well, I
totally
have
get
my
it.
hobbies.
I totally
have
get
my
it, but
hobbies too. Well, I have intentions on my son's running it, and I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
we've seen
That's why
that.
you're spending 3 days in the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 4 days in a class.
4 days. Okay.
OSHA refreshment course for me next week.
Yeah. 4
And
days.
Dixon, I'm just going to tell you, man, the industrial controls industry is like going through a major renovation right now. It's like another industrial revolution, man. It's so cool. I'm so ticked off that I'm 60 now. I wish I was like 30 or 40 so I could be in on this new revolution of what's going on with control systems.
Yeah, I
love it.
know, but
It's crazy.
then if we were only 30, I'd put my name on a van and I'd be a millionaire in 5 years. That's That's the
Well,
only thing right now.
Yeah, but that's because you know what you know now. You know.
Hold on.
Yeah, but we don't
I
we
love-
didn't have the opportunities they have with the technology.
Absolutely
love
not.
it.
You're right. Yep.
I love
be rich
what
in 5
Lynn's
years.
handcrafted wood signs put in the chat. He said, "You'll never get your $300 out of the house."
You're right.
So I got a question for you, Russ. Which one of your sons is also taking that class?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, I am okay. I am the reasonable one to take it because I've already been certified, and
Right.
good Lord willing, the creek don't wise, and my mind's still capable of remembering all what I need to know. I'm hoping that I will go through the class and retake the test and everything, and I'll get my license. I won't have that much struggle. Hold on.
Here we
Hold
go.
on. And then if I make it through it and we can start building, Corey, which is my youngest son, has said that once you make it through it and you pass it and we start building, I want you to work with me and teach me so he can want to take it.
No, Donna, it doesn't work that way. He'll be too busy putting houses up to get with
Yeah.
Russ
No,
and try to
Corey,
figure
you
out. So
understand.
you need to
Corey
kick
has
that
got
little
his
bastard in the butt
No.
and get him out
Corey
in there
came
and
out of the
train him.
Corey came out of the Marines, became a sheriff for Polk County, and started his course to become and get his master's degree in criminal science, criminal whatever he needed, and he has a master's degree.
That's great,
2 days.
but he's not
Yeah.
nailing 2x4s together with it. is
No,
he?
he's not. But my point being is, I don't
I'm on
think
Donna's side with this one, man.
I think he has enough mental power that it won't take much to tutor him to get him.
Sure. No, I
Two
think
days,
That's
2 days, and that embroidering machine is going to be laying in the corner under a pile of wood.
That's what I'm asking because as long as one of them's interested in taking it, then yes, they want to continue it. If both of them
Yeah.
are like, no, we think we'll just let you. When you're done,
No, but well, here's the thing. I'm 60. I'm 65, fixing to turn 66. So he's better get it because I don't know how many more years I have around. So,
that's what I'm saying, man. Get it.
yeah.
Get a little
So no,
bit to the
he needs
boss
to
and get him.
he needs to get it so if something happens to me. But my point being, if I can go ahead and get it and get going, I can tutor him, and hopefully that he can get it. And
At
that's
your
what we're-
age, you better be
Yes,
picking and
I told
choosing
him,
your battles.
Don't
and you
rely
should
on
be
me.
working.
I may be here tomorrow. I may be here 10 years from now. I may be here 20 years from now. I have no promise of tomorrow. So, let's get going, but you need to go get your license too.
It's got to be a priority, though.
Yeah.
my son is like, oh, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to take over. And I'm like, okay, well, you need to start learning. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
That's all you hear about that.
At your age, you
Of
should be
my
playing.
sons, I will have to admit, he is the most, without a shadow of a doubt,
You know it's going to follow through.
no ifs, ands, and buts responsible. He said when he was 15 years old and he started with ROTC in high school that he wanted to be a Marine. He became a Marine. He served 4 years, got out. He said as soon as he got out, he says, I want to get in law enforcement. He got recruited, he got hired, and he's been in law enforcement ever since. He moved law enforcement agency because of the pay grade. He got better pay, but he's still in law enforcement. So he's done what he said he was going to do, and he's already got his master's degree in it's law enforcement. I don't know how to explain the degree, but it's
Like a criminal
criminal whatever or law enforcement or whatever, and it's a master's degree. It's what he needs to have in order for him to be able to move up to become a sergeant or a lieutenant or a captain or whatever. He needs a master's degree to be able to do that, and that's what he wants to do. And I will guarantee you that he will make it. This kid has got some drive. He's got some
I respect him to death, but unless you get this licensing thing as a priority on him,
yeah.
He's got a job now, and he's going to be doing this construction on the side. And that's,
Well, we have plans for the future. I mean, we've sat down and talked about it and everything. I want one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is, which haven't never been able to do. I didn't build this house. I inherited it, so to speak, in some way, shape, or form. But I want to build my own house.
You
I've
are
always said
bored.
I want
Oh my
to do
God.
that, and I want to build my own shop the way I wanted to build. So I'm hoping. My two sons are pretty well on track to do as far as get this thing going and running. And if it goes like I want, I'm going to build my own house with my own shop in the way I want to build it in the future. So I told them that's my thing. I'm getting into this to make enough money to do that. And when I say build it, when I build it, I'm going to pay for it. In other words, it'll be paid 100%. So I won't pull a loan. I'll just pay for it. So, anyway, so yeah, we're way over. We're 9:30, 31. 9:30.
it's only 8:30 here.
Get out
So
of
we
here,
got more
but I
time.
appreciate y'all. I'm sorry that we got involved in this. I'm hoping that nobody asked any questions that we didn't answer.
Oh, I did.
No, we're good.
Yeah, okay. So I'm hoping that. So, but yeah, thank you all for all being out there. Frenzy Wicked Truth, Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Designs, Aussie Man, Dan Ingy from Dan Ingy Woodworking,
Michelle.
all y'all guys, Heirloom Game Calls. Thank you all for all being out there and watching us tonight and putting up with our no nonsense or full of nonsense stuff.
Yeah, we had some people on that I didn't recognize until.
Yeah, well, that's
it
great.
popped up.
We've been doing pretty good. We're still holding true. We're getting enough views that I'm keeping going. So I said when the views fall off, I'll quit, but we're doing pretty good. So
Michelle, Ayla.
anyway, thank you, Dixon, Chris, Al, Donna, Jim, and thanks to Paul who left a little early. I appreciate all of you. Listen, the main thing is you need to get out in your shop and do something. Okay? That's the main thing. I mean, I say get out in your shop and make some sawdust. Well, right now I ain't making a lot of sawdust. I'm doing more 3D printing and sublimation. But get off your butt. Get out in your shop and do something. Don't just sit in that recliner watching TV all day. Get out and do something. Make something. Just give me sawdust. Lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless, and have a God bless.
All right, boys and girls, finish your drinks. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Nope, you gotta get out.
I give you that to Al. Al's paying the drinks tonight.
Yeah, the bright lights are coming, and you're going to see actually what she looks like.
On the rest.